Hey guys, Scott here. I'm doing another launch and it's about no wind, and I'm setting up, looking at my flag. It's basically not blowing at all, but I got a slight headwind, maybe 1 mile an hour. So I pulled up, it's nice and straight, so I just run it out here. Everything went really perfect. I love launches like this. Hit it first time and no problems. I do my little wiggle dance here to get my butt back into the seat. Just kind of have to shift around a little bit and then I slide back in. On this flight, my goal is to check out a new development that's being built near my house. So I'm just cruising around out to that development. I kind of want to see what they're building out there. There's a little lake right by my house, which I really like. There's not too many houses around it, and there's a lot of waterfowl that fly over it and cruise over the water, and it's kind of fun to cruise around it and see that wildlife. Heading out over these trees here, I have this field coming up a little bit on my right there, and that kind of gets me across the field, so I don't have to have too much altitude because I can always glide down into that field if I had a motor out. Yep, cruising over here. There's a gravel pit right up here, and I'm going to swoop down and check it out. You'll see during this video, whenever I have low winds like this, I really enjoy flying low to the ground. I think that's one of the great beauties of the sport. And when I'm flying low to the ground like this, you'll notice that I'm constantly, my head is jerking left and right during the video, and basically I'm looking for power lines. That's what's going on. Power lines is one of the #1 cause of crashes in this sport, and yeah, they can really sneak up on you, so you got to watch for those power poles because you can't really see the lines typically till it's too late. So you know, I'm watching these power poles, and most of the time I'll just fly slightly above power pole level. That way I don't have to be too intensely looking towards all the power lines and where everything's at. I can just kind of relax a little bit more. On low wind days, it is such a great experience because all your movements of the glider are all self-induced. It's not like you're coaxing or hurting your glider in the direction you want to go. It's like you feel like you're on rails. You go exactly where you want to go. You feel very in control. It's very relaxing. It's a whole different sport than if you're flying in like 7-mile-an-hour winds. I really enjoy it. So I like bringing it down low to the ground like this. Typically, if I'm flying low like this, I'll either scout out the area ahead of time, or like I said, just always be watching for those power poles because they can be a pretty large distance apart. So you gotta be constantly glancing right and left, and you know, when you come down into a field, you know, make sure there's no power poles stretching across it. So recently, one of my buddies who actually went and got training with me gave up the sport, and I was pretty bummed about it. You know, we went out and we got training together, and we flew for the first time, and you know, we were both super excited about it. And you know, he just I guess he just decided it wasn't for him. And you know, on the other hand, you know, I go through the same experience, and I'm just like, this is the greatest thing in the world. I'm a lawn chair in the sky that can go anywhere I want. You know, you just feel the breeze blowing on your face, and your feet are just dragging through the grass, and you can just zip around at like the speed of a bicycle in the sky. It's like awesome. It's pretty safe. I just think it's the most amazing thing ever. You can go see things that you'd never be able to see. You know, I like just cruising around and seeing God's creation. and I get to see that in such a more intimate way, just being right on top of it, just like cruising over the water or the ground, or I guess I haven't flown over water because I don't have my flotation yet, but I will get it someday, and then I will cruise right over the water. But here I'm just following this tire mark. I'm kind of going up and down a little bit, and I'll get a little updraft and I'll float up, and then I'll come down, and there's a little delay on the throttle, so I'll apply it, and then I need to ease off of it sooner, otherwise I float upward again and I kind of do this oscillation thing. But I'm getting the hang of it more and more. Here's that development that's going in. Looks like a large neighborhood. It seems like all the neighborhoods going around, being built around here, are have like a playground in the center of it, which is cool. This will be the, I have 4 kids now, so this will be the playground closest to my house, so that's cool to have a little bit closer playground. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about developments going up closer and closer. I moved kind of out to the country, but pretty soon there's going to be neighborhoods like right up within a quarter mile of my house. Just society moves on and things get built. So it's all good. I'm not complaining too much about it. I'm sure my property taxes will go up, and I don't plan to ever sell my place, so that doesn't really affect me. Here I got an airplane here on my left. When I saw him coming, I made sure that I stayed real low to the ground, because I didn't want to get up into his airspace at all. But I love living out in the country. I'm really glad my kids get to grow up out here and grow up running around the place and playing with rocks and sticks. I think that's great for kids. So if neighborhoods and the city comes and kind of envelops us, well, we'll be a little pocket of country right next to the city then, and we'll have a very short drive to all the amenities, I suppose. So it's all good. My wife kind of likes living in town, and I kind of like living out of town, so I guess this is kind of a happy medium. She's real social. I'm a little bit more hermity. There's some really cool houses in here. That's one thing I like doing. I try not to fly right over the houses, but some really pretty ones, and you kind of get to watch that architecture and everything. A lot of houses have ponds around here, which is cool. I see this girl up ahead, and she's got out of her car and she's taking pictures of me, so I thought I'd buzz down and zip by her. I always wonder if people are taking pictures because they're like, that's so cool, or if they're like, who is that guy? Let's try to get his license plate or something and see where he lives and try to get him in trouble. Not that I'm doing anything illegal, but most people just don't know what's legal and what's not. So pull a lot of right brake and lean hard to my right to get a sharp right turn here so I don't go wide and those power lines. Zip down here so she can get some good pictures. Then I just cruise up here, just a couple feet off the ground. Yeah, if you guys haven't tried the sport, it is really amazing. I used to be kind of more of an adrenaline junkie, but I guess I've settled down in my old age. Now I'm in my early 30s, and yeah, I just don't, I guess, have the desire to do such stupid stuff, I guess. But this is just, it's relaxing. Like if something goes wrong and you hit the ground, typically, unless you're doing something stupid, typically you're going really slow. And you just see so much wildlife and cruise in these. I love going between these narrow trees. If there's higher winds, you can't do this because there's a lot of rotor that would come off those trees. But when it's calm like this, it's awesome. You just dip down low, and you don't have to think about how the terrain is dropping away or coming up at you. Here I'm making my way back home, not far from home here. Just cruising at low altitude. I've seen a dozen deer so far on this flight. We have moose and elk and lots of turkeys and all kinds of things. I'm not a hunter, at least not yet, but I do enjoy archery and, you know, shooting guns more for accuracy. I find it phenomenal that you can take this arrow and you can snap it into your bow, and it's this primitive, you know, string and a stick, and you can pull it back, and this arrow can fly through the air through this long distance and then hit something like the size of a tennis ball. I just think that's remarkable that that's possible. So I think the archery is kind of I don't know what to call it, a romantic sport. It just intrigues me. This is, see, right here, when you're coming over the ground and the sun is setting, you've got the light coming in on all the grass, and you're just buzzing over here, and you know, you can see all these little rabbits darting about, and you know, it feels like, you know, I mean, this is what people, you know, thought heaven was going to be like. You know, you're just like flying around or something. It's just, it feels just like it looks, I think. I mean, I guess it depends on how you think it looks, but it is a lot of fun. Got a neighbor here on my left. Just built his house here. You know, he put in these septic ponds, and I don't understand why people would build like a big septic pond next to their house. I guess if you have a lot of clay in your soil, you put a septic pond, but it's got a smell, I would think. And you put it right next to your house, and I don't know, that seems weird to me. But I'm sure there's a reason, and I just don't know it. Maybe it's a whole lot cheaper or something like that. Or at least put the pond far away from your house. I don't know anything about that, so I should probably find out. Yep, landing approach here. There's my barn straight ahead. And so I'm just flying over the pasture here and feeling pretty confident about this landing. There's almost zero wind, but I'm going to swing by and check out the flag just in case. Having a flag set up is just super valuable. It's when you're flying along, it's pretty hard to tell which way the wind's going. They have apps that try to calculate it and show it to you, but just having a little flag up is worth a lot. There's my little barn. There goes the flag right there. Looks like it's hanging straight down. The pole's kind of an angle, so it looks like it's blowing, but it's pretty much straight down. So I swung around. I'm going to drop down over these power lines. You know, I can actually drop pretty quickly when you raise your hands. Your glide ratio isn't very well unless you have the weight of your arms on your controls. So just passed over my property line there, and we got a flare, and came in pretty fast. Kind of slid my feet across the ground. Never done that before, but I was coming in pretty fast, so I just kind of locked my legs a little bit and let my feet glide across the loose dirt, and then started running when I kind of slowed down a little bit, and it worked out. Hey, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll try to get some more videos up here.